Welcome to Spooky News for Spooky Ventures for October 11th, 2019. As you might guess, with us fully in spooky season, there's lots to get to, so let's just get started. Apparently, a number of people have captured some things that they didn't know what they were on video uh, in the sky around Pennsylvania, in a couple counties in Pennsylvania recently. Um, and there's been a news article about it, which I will share in the description section, so you can click on that, have a look. I've got the video with the news article, so you can have a look at that. In 1967, there was a famous UFO sighting off the coast of Nova Scotia. To honor the 52nd anniversary of that, Canada released a glow-in-the-dark coin, uh, and it's highly collectible because they're already sold out. It just came out a week ago, and I'm guessing you can probably find one to buy online, but you can't get them elsewhere because they're all gone. A new article showed up on TV news in Tennessee about a couple who were frightened from their stay in a haunted room in a place called the Reed House in Chattanooga, Tennessee. So I'm going to share the article. They apparently experienced something in room 311, which was being renovated for a while and now is open for guests. And according to the legend, there was a woman who was beheaded in that room many, many years ago and haunts it. So you can check out the article I'll share, and they've got some video of their news coverage, and see what you think of the haunting. Maybe you want to make a trip down there and have a stay at the hotel. I mean, it certainly fits under the paranormal travel concept we've got going here. Zach Bagans, or Baggins, who hosts Ghost Adventures, is a collector of spooky things. He also has a museum of spooky things, and I recently being a couple months ago, talked about the fact that he had bought one of the Manson murder homes recently. He also just bought $300,000 worth of Ghostbuster props. If you're going to be a collector, I guess, and you have the money, that's a pretty cool little investment right there. I know I'd sure love Ghostbuster props, but I don't have $300,000 to spend. If anybody wants to, know of something to get me for a gift, there you go. I'll take some Ghostbusters props. Yeah, I didn't think that was going to happen anytime soon. Anyway, pretty interesting article. I'm not sure if he's bought them up for his museum or for himself or a little bit of both. An article emerged this week which says that the Tampa Theater is the most haunted place in Tampa Bay, Florida. So if you're going to be in the Tampa Bay, Florida area, I mean, I don't know, maybe you even want to make a special trip if you're not that far from there. But perhaps you should take in an event at the Tampa Theater so you can experience the haunting yourself. There's some paranormal travel for you. One event going on this weekend that I wanted to mention for those in the local area. There's an indie author event going on at the Rockford Public Library, the Rockton Avenue branch. It's going on from 2 o'clock till 3:30 on Saturday. That's tomorrow. Unless, of course, you're watching this after the day it publishes. But in any event, Terry Reed will be there as a featured speaker, and there'll be several authors with tables set up selling books and signing books and able to answer your questions. I will be one of those authors there. So will my good friend Heath D. Alberts, and Sherry Blakely will also be there along with Mike Doyle. So be sure to check that out. I'm not sure which of those folks are spooky stuff, but I know I've got spooky stuff. Terry's stuff is spooky. So figured it was well worth mentioning here. Hope to see some of the local peeps there. I've done some coverage of some spooky train rides, but this one I haven't covered. It's actually a spooky riverboat ride, and they're going to be taking off in St. Louis, and they had the first one last Friday, and they're going to be continuing through the whole spooky season. So if you're going to be in St. Louis, you can take part in a spooky riverboat ride. That sounds like a lot of fun. Definitely a nice little twist on the whole train thing that I've been covering so much. If you're going to be in the Pittsburgh area before Halloween, you might want to stop by a little town whose name I'm sure I can't pronounce. Monongahela. Mongahela. There's a restaurant there called Angelo's 2, and they've taken Halloween decorating to a completely different level. They've got all kinds of ghost tendrils coming out of the building, and Stay Puft Marshmallow Man on top. And I'll tell you, if I was going to be in the area, I'd have to stop by and see that, because it looks really cool. I mean, the photograph I've seen looks great, and if it looks that good in a photo, it's got to be great in person. So these guys really get some kudos for doing some great decorating. Treblezine has an article about 3 new Halloween-themed albums that have just dropped in time for the holiday. One's by someone named Prurient, and another is by a gent named Steve Moore, and the final one is by Vatican Shadows. So, there really isn't a ton of great Halloween music out there. I've done a couple features in the Music Street Journal print edition exclusives about some artists, but I may have to look into these for next year. We'll see. It seems like there's more and more of it coming out now, but certainly not anything to compare with the old classic winter holiday, if you want to call it Christmas, if you want to call it whatever. Um, and no, I'm not getting into that debate with people. I just choose to realize that there are a whole lot of holidays around that one day, and not everybody celebrates that one. If you want to call it Christmas, go ahead. But in any event, there's getting to be more Halloween based, or at least spooky based music out there. So I guess that's a good thing for those of us who enjoy the spooky stuff year round. Check out these three. I'll share the article, and I think you can stream them or buy them at Amazon. So check it out. Would you like a copy of the double LP? Yes, I'm talking vinyl of the Pet Cemetery soundtrack. Well, if so, Paste Magazine has a contest just for you. They're doing a giveaway. One lucky winner will get that record. So be sure to have a look in the description section of this video. I'll have the article that talks about it, and you can find there's a link in there to register. But you got to register by the 13th because that's the deadline. So hey, get registered and good luck. We released a couple of new designs for merchandise at cafepress.com/spookyventures this week. They're the final two Halloween designs for us. We wanted to make sure we get all the Halloween stuff out in time so that you can order it and have it in time to enjoy it for the season. So I'll include the two graphics for those, and you can get them in drinkware, apparel, stickers, magnets, all kinds of things. So have a look at that and see what you think. So maybe you can pick up some stuff to have for your Halloween season. Sam Raimi is going to have a new horror series. It's an anthology series called 50 States of Fright. And apparently, a lot of it's going to focus on urban legends in different states. And that should be pretty cool stuff. Something to look forward to. And Sam Raimi, you can always count on him for some quality material. So, should be interesting. I've mentioned before that I like lists of spooky things, and a new one was released by Screen Rant with 2 horror movies, or 10, sorry, not 2, 10 horror movies supposedly filmed on sets that were haunted. You get The Exorcist and Poltergeist and Annabelle and The Omen. I've given you almost half of them. You need to check out the list. It'll be included in the details section, description section of this video. So have a look at that. Some cool stories about each one of them, and it's a spooky little entry. An interesting article has come out from History.com about the backstory behind a lot of these horror movies that say inspired by a real life story or whatever. And they talk about different ones, from The Exorcist to the Amityville Horror to Serpent and the Rainbow. Um, like I say, I like lists of things, and especially when they have a lot of information that you might not normally have. And this is the perfect time of year to read something like that. So I'll include the link. Have a look at the article. Lots of cool stuff in there. Just a reminder that there are so many ghost walks and ghost tours going on this time of year that we simply can't list them all in a video. These videos would be so long. So have a look at the details section on the video, and I've got them listed, articles about different ones listed by city at the end. So I'm going to keep doing that until I run out of room. I had to take some stuff out of the details last week because YouTube said that the description was too long. So we'll see how it goes. I might start having to rotate some out, or I don't know. We'll see. But for the time being, assuming we have room for them all, we'll include them in the details section, description section, whatever you want to call it. There are quite a few releases coming out this weekend that should be of interest. First, Are You Afraid of the Dark is premiering on TV. That's the reboot of the classic series. Next one, now this isn't exactly horror, but I'm sure a lot of people who are into the spooky stuff will enjoy it. The Addams Family animated movie is coming out. And then there are some horror movies, Mary, and Along Came the Devil 2, and Beloved Beast. Now, I'm not sure how wide of distribution those movies are getting, but all of them are being released today. So keep an eye out for those, and have a good time at the theaters. And that's a wrap for this week. Remember, we want you to let us know what we're doing right, if there's some things we should change, if you've got some ideas for things we could cover, if you've got some ideas for videos you'd like to see us do. We just wrapped up doing Dracula chapter by chapter and as videos from the audiobook, and tomorrow we'll be starting to do Frankenstein. We wanted to get those two in for the whole Halloween season. I'm not sure if we're going to get Frankenstein done before Halloween, just because there's so many chapters. We'll have to do a couple a day if we do that. I'm not sure if that's a great idea, but we'll see how it goes. So, like I said, keep us in mind. Let us know what's going on. Leave comments. Send us messages. Check us out at spookyventures.com. We're here to bring you all things spooky. So remember, keep it spooky, and see you next week. Spooky Ventures is the home for spooky content and spooky merchandise on the web. Check it out today at spookyventures.com. And remember, always keep it spooky.